Hi everyone, Darren Hunsick here with the Outsourced PM podcast show. We have a great show lined up today, and today we are talking about executive assistants, virtual assistants who are your executive assistants, keeping you organized. I'm with Michael Sanz, of course, Deniz Yusuf from Inspired Growth Training and Teams by Design, and the wonderful, the amazing, the awesome Charlotte McCannis, who is the executive assistant for Michael and Deniz. Now, before we hand the reins over to you, Charlotte, to say hello and a quick, discussion around this, Michael and Deniz represent something that's very typical out there in property management and in real estate, of bosses who are very sales orientated and perhaps aren't very good at keeping themselves well organized. And I must say, myself is a real operational type person with checklists and processes, and Michael and Deniz is like chasing cats around a paddock.
No, is Darren trying to say that we're unorganized?
But you guys typically represent a lot of real estate bosses out there that are salespeople. They know they're not organized. They need to have other people to keep them organized. And this is what an executive does.
We turn up where we're meant to be, when we're meant to be there.
Thank you to Charlotte. Let's give Charlotte the credit for
never missed a network meeting, whether it's at the bar or the restaurant or whatever, the coffee shop. I've never missed one. And Charlotte, she can be
organized and make sure these things happen. So welcome, Charlotte. We think you're awesome. We just love all the work that you do supporting Michael and Deniz, and a lot of the management role of Teams by Design and Inspired Growth Training. But let's just talk about your background. Charlotte, just tell us about you. What's your business background, your career background? Tell us about that.
Before pandemic, I was in an airline industry. I was in Singapore for 10 years. Then I came back due to COVID. So I applied through the job link that Michael posted on Facebook. And then right after, maybe around a week, he made contact, and then they asked if they can meet me online through Zoom. I was not really aware what Zoom was. So, and then they sent me the link, join in, blah, 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 something like that. And then right after that, after 3 days, they contacted me again saying, if you want to be onboarded, this is what you do. Just organize our calendar, send us, check our email, and the rest was history. So I'm happy being with Michael and Deniz for at least 539 days to be exact.
539.
Yes, it is. It flew by so fast. Yes, it is. I celebrated 2 birthdays with them, and then all the personal stuff that I was not supposed to disclose, I was able to be comfortable sharing with them. So yeah, I'm happy with Teams by Design and with Michael and Deniz, as well as you, Darren. Hand in hand with them. Yep.
Well, I've got my own executive assistant who's Beverly, and she's awesome as well. And so, Charlotte, what are some of the things that you do, the key things, the major things that you do to keep Michael and Deniz organized? Because that is a job in itself.
To start with,
I'm just going to interject. Let's just be careful, because Charlotte has access to everything we do, personally, professionally.
So we're only talking about our business stuff.
Okay, I got it.
when we travel, Charlotte's able to kind of plan in advance for us, do a lot of things, book the restaurants, cancel restaurants,
hotels, everything.
So let's just keep it PG. No one needs to know everything else.
Right. Okay.
But what are some of the things, Charlotte? I know that would be a challenge to keep organized, because I do my head in sometimes trying to get these guys to do certain things. But how do you keep them organized? What are some of the key activities that you do?
Yeah, they have 2 different personalities when it comes to email organization, as well as first.
That
most. The first thing I was having difficulty was chasing Michael, especially with his appointments, turning up to appointments, and organizing some of the stuff I booked for him. I need to chase 3 times: morning, afternoon, the night before the appointment, sending him iMessage, all communication tools active. So I make it a point that if he didn't reply to a workplace, I send him a message to iMessage, and then I call him whenever possible to chase. So yeah, that's very fulfilling of me if Michael attends one of those appointment I set for him. Dennis is not so difficult to chase since he's a social butterfly and then wants to communicate every time and ask me to chase those clients to have a meeting with him. So it's very hard for me. My difficulty is with Michael. Yeah, it is.
Wasn't meant this to be a whipping post at the moment.
I've got it. If I can,
But I would concur.
Hang on.
and agree
I
with
think
you, Charlotte.
but let's also like bring this down to the basics. I might be hard to contact, but how big is our team though? Like we have got that many team members. Dennis has himself. He has himself.
there is a lot to control here, as we know, right?
Like, and you know, and all for Charlotte because she basically runs everything.
Yeah.
In my absence when she can't reach me, but there's a lot happening on my side of the fence.
Well, you've got, my kids are grown up. There's different, it's hard to compare. But I just want to say something that Charlotte touched on there, Darren, is Charlotte, one thing that is a conversation. You'll screenshot a lead that comes in and says, Dennis, you can do this. I'm going, Darren, it's done. It's taken care of. Stop sending me this crap because Charlotte's on top of it. A new lead comes in. She's already contacted them via email. She's picked up the phone. She's called them and potentially booked an appointment in my diary and organised it and sent that to me saying, Dennis, you've got an appointment tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll get all of the information to me about their concerns, their inquiry that's come through. It's all in that calendar. And she'll also message it to me 10 minutes before the appointment. New business process is absolutely refined. And then there's our onboarding process as well. When a new IGT member comes on board, it's all fine-tuned. We had an amazing, very difficult person that we'd been dealing with, and they absolutely sent one of the most beautiful emails, messages to me saying, thank you for this, that, and the other. Loving it. It's taking away those little tasks that frees me up to be income producing for our business. So that there for me is gold. And she does the follow-ups as well. So it's those reminders, following up, touching them, letting them know, Dennis, give this person a call now. So it's like putting that accountability on me. And I just absolutely love that. So I can then focus on what I do best.
And I know, Darren, you'll probably ask more questions, but one of the things, if I could go back to like when I started outsourcing and I started having assistants helping me, there's a difference between having like a general virtual assistant or even like an enhanced or a highly skilled virtual assistant to help you with property management tasks. There's a clear difference between that role and an executive assistant role for like the business owners, right? It's black, it's white. There's a clear line there because we need someone. This is the same for business owners out there, small, medium, big businesses. Having someone to go through every email you've got, being able to respond, not as me, but like, Charlotte responds as Charlotte, being able to pick up the phone and call and book in and change diary and change meetings and just run everything is so valuable. If I knew what I knew now, I would have had this a long time ago.
Yeah, it was interesting because when we were first, Michael and I identified early that we needed to free our time up because of all of our coaching and our emails when we travel, that they get left behind. So we'd identified we needed to find someone and we agreed that we would share. We knew what we needed done, but we'd never done this before. So it was, our poor Charlotte, she'd come on board. What do you want us to do? Do our emails. So then, we had to show which emails were important. They all get filed, this, that, and the other. And just the emails alone, just taking care of that was great.
Yeah, but it's also towards a learning and a communication thing. Like when Charlotte started, she had no idea. And we're taking obviously the chat here, but Charlotte had no idea about what we liked. We didn't know what we liked.
No.
Like, we didn't know what our preference was because we were control freak. We'd go through our emails, everything. We were massive control freaks. We didn't know what we wanted either, but we knew we needed to have it.
Yep.
And so it took time for Charlotte to know our language use, how we respond to people, who we respond to, everything that we do.
Yeah.
And again, so much so that, when we travel or poor Charlotte, I leave everything for her to do.
But jumping on a plane for 20 hours, knowing your emails are going to be looked after. And
Charlotte shoulders everything. I'm just blown away how good Charlotte is. But guys, let's just talk. And Charlotte, I'll keep you in this. Let's talk about recruitment, because Charlotte, you're involved also in recruitment as well, and strategic recruitment within Teams by Design. So if you guys are looking for an executive assistant, which is not just a normal virtual assistant, it's the next level up. Tell me about that process. What are you actually looking for? How do you interview that person? What are some of the key things that you do that's different from a typical virtual assistant?
We match their skills and experience to our client. So we have a client, and then we'll look for a certain virtual assistant to match their requirements. And then we consider their communication skills, accent, as well as their commitment, and the what do you call this, Michael? The noise. Tonality. Yeah, that's number one priority. And then right after that, we set them up with a client to meet them, and if they like them, we will offer them a job offer. And then right after that, we will train them for at least 2 weeks with our process, and then as well as our client's process. That's the main steps that we follow for hiring a virtual assistant.
So,
executive assistant.
Your English level is really good, all right, and your accent's, awesome. How hard is it to find other people out there with your level of, with that skill set, with the quality English, well spoken? How easy or how hard is it to find that person? Is it relatively easy with the right ad?
For accents, we have a training. We have 5 training videos to enunciate some of those stuff. But normally, but those virtual assistants from the start, it's very hard for them to pronounce some of the words, especially if they have UK client. So it's very communication is really hard to train. But for me, I have at least a decade of experience for customer service. So I'm basically, English is my what do you call that?
Basically your first language, but it's easy.
Yes, that's my first language. Yes, it is.
It's easy, Darren. Like, when we go through the process, it's easy to identify. And I guess we're harder on ourselves when we listen to accents, tonality, because the reality is a lot of people in Australia, New Zealand, UK, America, people who answer the phone have an accent, right? So like, it doesn't so much matter about if someone has an accent. It's clarity, it's confidence, it's humanality. And like Charlotte was saying, we when we go to recruit, they don't have to have specific experience in being an executive assistant, but it's the experience that they have been doing and the work that they've been doing that we can train. It's looking for someone that's attention to detail, highly organized, and again is human, not transactional. So it's a certain quality of person, Darren, that we're looking for when you're looking for an executive assistant. It's not just anyone, it's someone.
All right. So let's just say one of our viewers, listeners, wants to explore an executive assistant. After they've got in contact with you, what's the typical steps now between contact you and someone getting on board and fully up and running? What's going to happen in between typically?
We have training before we put them into live task with client. We train them for 2 weeks. We QA their calls, and then we role play. So that's the main steps. And we don't allow them to do live tasks without completing the assessment with our QA guy, Mark, which is doing very great job for all our VAs. So I guess the quality is quite different from the very first time we hired all our virtual assistants.
And you also outlined, it's very important, that the person, the new client, the person this executive assistant is going to be working for and working with, that client or customer is going to be interviewing the potential executive assistant first. So they've got full control and knowing exactly who they're going to be employing first before it actually happens.
Correct.
That's one of the benefits too, Darren. Like when we do bring X amount of people into the pool and we introduce to the client 3 or 4 candidates, if we're introducing it, like one of our team members to a client, we're comfortable. We are 100% comfortable that person can do that job. Then it comes down to personality, because Darren, we need to make sure that you're going to get on with the person that we source for you. So there's a few options that you can meet with. Ideally, there's a few options you can meet with, and then you can say, "Yep, great, Michael. I want to work with that person there."
Yeah, and those people as well. Like Darren, let's say we give you 3 choices, you might choose one. Those other 2, we're going to put them into another spot. They've already qualified amongst CBD. They've passed the test. So you get the pick of the bunch, and then we'll then offer the other 2 or another candidate on top to the next company.
I guess too, like Darren, and when we're talking about an executive assistant, how we differ from other outsourcing companies out there, they are just recruiting a general virtual assistant, right? They are not looking for this type of assistant to work with business owners and department managers and so on. They don't. They look for something different. This is something unique to Teams by Design, where we actually can find you executive assistants for the people that need organising their days, just their general business. Again, like Charlotte controls so many aspects of the business now, and 2 years ago you wouldn't even fathom that. No,
we actually want to continue to upskill Charlotte, as we do everyone within our team. But Charlotte's like, no, I want to work with you guys, and we see so much more in Charlotte. So it's that continued training and onboarding. That
certainly a privilege to have you on board, Charlotte, and we really. Thank you. You do such a great job. And I know that you take a lot of burden off Michael and Deniz's shoulders with your executive assistant work and keeping them organized and making sure that they need to do what they need to do. And I know it takes stress off their, backs and have to worry about it because it's all in hand with you. It's like Charlotte's dealing with it. Everyone stay calm. That's basically what's said on a regular basis within our business. And, just thank you. So guys,
I know now, Darren, why you're calling me before you call Deniz.
Yeah.
I'm the first point. Have you talked to Deniz? Have you discussed this with Deniz? Like, yeah, it's taken care of. Stop calling Deniz.
And I think yesterday I referred to you as the perfume steamroller. You're the person that just, you get things done and you make sure it's done. Not just as an executive assistant, but a key management within our team network as well.
So, she's a great gatekeeper for that. Whatever the case is, it's absolutely fantastic. And even having the ability of identifying and understanding the importance of each lead that's coming through.
Yeah.
So I've shown Charlotte which ones are the ones that we put at the top. So she knows, and she makes sure that we book them ones. So, we're always getting people contacting us. Hey, I'd love to, like potential sponsors that want us to promote them. Charlotte knows how to identify and book those times in, anyone. It's really important. She understands our lingo, her emails. She's got all the templates. I can say, put together my template email for a new potential client, and bang, it's there. And I just adjust it all around the conversation I've had, and bang, she'll send it. Doesn't matter what country in the world I'm in. It's great.
Well done. All right.
Well, doesn't stop.
Let's wrap this up. Michael, if people do want to talk to you about taking on an executive assistant, how do they get in contact with you?
Yeah, easiest way, just go to the website, teamsbydesign.com, contact us. That'll come straight through and we will book a time to catch up.
Cool. All right. Well done. Great podcast, guys. I think there's, unless there's anything else you want to add, I think let's just wrap it up.
Well, I look forward to hearing from everybody.
Cool. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much, Charlotte, for your input today.
Yep.
And take care, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.